People say reputation is everything, but they never tell you how fragile it really is, how one lie, one whisper, one carefully planted seed can grow faster than the truth ever will. I learned that the hard way. My name doesn't matter. My job title doesn't matter either. What matters is that I was one of those people who believed that good work spoke for itself. Show up on time, respect people, deliver results. That was my philosophy. I never imagined that someone would make it their mission to destroy me anyway. The man who taught me that lesson was my coworker, Daniel. We weren't friends, we weren't enemies. We were just two people who worked in the same department. At least, that's what I thought. Daniel was the kind of guy who blended in, never too loud, never too quiet. But there was something underneath the surface, a sharpness, a hunger for attention, a need to be seen as the smartest person in the room. The first time I noticed something off was in a team meeting. Our manager asked who had completed a set of client reports. I opened my mouth to answer, but Daniel cut me off. "I did," he said confidently, except he didn't. I had completed the reports. I had stayed late the night before to finish them. But when I looked around the table, people nodded, accepting Daniel's version of events like it was the truth. I let it slide. I didn't care about the credit. I should have. Because that was the first move in a game I didn't know he was playing. The next weeks were a slow, subtle erosion of my reputation. Daniel would accidentally forward incomplete documents and imply I had sent them that way. He'd whisper to other coworkers that I was slipping or stressed. He told our manager that I seemed overwhelmed lately, planting doubts I didn't know existed. Then came the rumors. Rumors about me being difficult. Rumors about me missing deadlines I had already met. Rumors about me ignoring client messages. Every time something went wrong, my name came up, and I didn't understand why, until it was too late. One Friday afternoon, my manager called me into his office. His expression was tight, forced, uncomfortable. "We need to talk," he said. Those words never mean anything good. He pulled up an email thread on his screen. It was between myself and one of our major clients. Except, it wasn't. I recognized the client. I recognized the project. But I had never sent the messages in that thread. The emails looked like they were from me. Same tone, same signature, same timestamp format. But the content? Accusatory, unprofessional, rude in a way I would never be. "I didn't write these," I said immediately. My manager leaned back. "They were sent from your account." I felt my stomach twist. "No, they weren't." He exhaled. "Look, I'm not accusing you, but the client is furious. They want you removed from the project." The walls felt like they were closing in on me. I had worked with that client for almost 3 years. I trusted them. They trusted me. Whoever did this knew that. When I left the office that day, I felt hollow. Like someone had scooped out everything inside me. I drove home in silence. No music, no thoughts, just the heavy weight of injustice pressing on my chest. That night, I stared at those forged emails again and again. Something felt wrong. Not just emotionally, technically. Then I noticed it. A tiny detail most people wouldn't catch. The spacing in the signature block was slightly off. 2 spaces instead of 1. A period missing after my job title. A formatting error I knew I never made. Whoever forged the emails tried to mimic my style, but failed in the smallest, most critical details. And that mistake saved me. The next morning, I went back to the office early. The building was almost empty. just the cleaning crew and the night shift security guard. I approached the security desk, where a man I'd spoken to a few times, Victor, was sipping coffee. "Hey," I said, "can I ask you something?" He raised an eyebrow. "Depends. Work-related or trouble?" "I'm not sure yet." I explained everything. Carefully, calmly, just the facts. I didn't accuse anyone. I just asked whether it was possible to see what devices accessed my email account over the past week. Victor tapped his fingers on the desk. "We can't see emails," he said. "But device access? That's different." He logged into the system, clicked through a few screens, then frowned. "You said you didn't log in from home on Wednesday night?" "No," I said. "I was asleep by 11. He turned his monitor toward me. A login was recorded at 1:14 a.m. Not from my home, not from my office, but from a workstation in a conference room on the second floor. A workstation only managers had access to. A workstation Daniel used frequently. Victor tapped again. "And here's the kicker," he said. "The badge used to access that room." He looked at me. "It wasn't yours," my breath caught. "Whose badge was it?" He hesitated, turned the screen around. It was Daniel. I felt a rush of heat, anger, relief, disbelief all at once. "He forged the emails," I whispered. Victor nodded, "and he logged in as you to send them." I closed my eyes. I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or scream. I had been fighting shadows, while the truth was sitting on a server the entire time. Victor printed the access logs for me. Clean, time-stamped, indisputable. I thanked him, probably more times than necessary. Then I went straight to HR. My voice didn't shake. My hands didn't shake. For the first time in weeks, I felt solid. I laid everything out. The forged emails, the false rumors, the access logs, the badge report, the timeline, everything. When I showed them the evidence, HR's expression shifted from polite concern to shock, to anger. They called an emergency meeting with my manager. Then a meeting with Daniel. Then another meeting without him. By Monday morning, Daniel had been terminated, escorted out, badge deactivated, access revoked. He didn't look at me on his way out. He kept his head down, like a criminal caught mid-act. HR called me in afterward, apologized, cleared my record, restored my client accounts, promised to monitor team dynamics more carefully moving forward. I nodded. But a part of me stayed guarded. Reputation isn't just built by good work. It's destroyed by silence, other people's or your own. And I promised myself I'd never stay silent again. Now, when new employees join the company, they always ask why Daniel left. Some people shrug. Some say it was performance issues. Some think he found a better job. I never correct them. I don't need revenge. I don't need credit. I don't need to expose him publicly. The truth already did that for me, and that's enough. Because in the end, evidence doesn't just reveal lies. It rebuilds what lies tried to destroy. And the day the truth came out, I got my reputation back. Not because I shouted louder than the rumors, but because the logs, the cameras, and the timestamps whispered the truth in a language no one could ignore.